Let's get to Washington and let's have the Bradley Beal conversation. This is actually like the big name that I'm probably least interested in. And I guess that's just because I do think we would have to attach a lot to Ben, and I don't really think Ben makes any sense in Washington either. So I think this might have to be a three-way deal. Like, I think it starts getting really difficult if you make Bradley Beal your main target. I think I would look at either Portland guard or either, Brogdon or Levine. I would much rather almost any of them relative to what we'd have to give up for him. I know that Beal will probably be a popular one in the comments. He was popular on my Twitter with the polls yesterday, but Dodge has some stats with Beal.
No, it's all there. Like, if you want a bucket getter. And I thought the Sixers really defended him well.
Oh, definitely.
In the series against Washington, that first round. They really worked him. And if there's anything the Sixers fans should know about Bradley Beal is he gets his buckets. Like, and this is that, is he inefficient? 100%. However, when you're talking about half-court set, when you're talking about you need a number one, number two, reliable guy in a half-court set in the playoffs, like there's not many better options than Bradley Beal. So you look at 74th percentile in the pick and roll, 38% in the catch and shoot, 77.3% of his points came from drives to the basket. This guy paired next to Joel Embiid would be absolutely bananas. This guy is a top tier, trade target for Ben Simmons. I don't know how much the Sixers would have to add to get this guy, but yeah, he's a dream. This is a dream, just like another player that we'll get to very soon.
I think Marky215 right here says it well in saying Beal would need a good point guard with him. I think that's true. I think Beal needs a point guard next to him who's going to be a good facilitator, and I think that's why for a while everyone was talking about wanting to trade Tobias Harris for Bradley Beal, because I think if Bradley Beal was on a team with Ben Simmons, it would be very, very nice. But I do think if you're trading Ben Simmons for Bradley Beal, I think Tyrese Maxey next to Bradley Beal works pretty well in itself, being how much of a driver and kicker Tyrese Maxey is. I think Bradley Beal I think a Bradley Beal Tyrese Maxey backcourt would look really good with Joel Embiid.
Yeah, So how much do you guys think it takes to get Bradley Beal?
I mean, this is in the territory. Was my number two, same as my number one. This is in that territory where I don't give a fuck. Like, just like if this is even on the table compared to some of these other deals, I would 100% rather just throw, not the farm, but at least throw in a good bit amount just to get it done, because that pick and roll between Embiid and Beal would be unstoppable. Unstoppable.
For me, it's not even the pick and roll, it's the dribble handoff.
So for you guys both prefer Beal to Levine?
No. I prefer Levine. I prefer the Levine to Beal just purely based on ISO. ISO buckets. Levine can give you a lot more there, and also like from catch and shoot, I'm pretty sure Levine is better too as well.
I don't know, man. I think Bradley Beal probably fits Embiid's window a little bit more than Levine. Even though I love Levine. Yeah. I think there's a little bit more gravity with Beal than Levine in terms of just offense. That's a really good question.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think there's no way a defense could stop. You look at the Sixers' offense. They thrived when they slowed down the pace. When the Sixers were at their best was when the pace slowed down, and you look at a Zach LaVine offense. That ball needs to be push, transition buckets, all that kind of stuff. And like we said, these are my top three. We didn't get to my number one yet. We didn't get to my number one yet. Probably already did. You're probably yelling at me because of it. However, Bradley Beal, gives that kind of gravitas, that weight that defenses need to plan for, well above like a Tobias Harris. So I would give a good amount to get Bradley Beal in a Sixers uniform.
I agree with you in the sense that I think you give a good amount to get him if he's available, but just personally, I think Levine, also being that he is that speed guy, like being that he is a guy who wants to get out in transition and do that kind of stuff. I think he does. I think he complements Joel Embiid even better because he can do that as well. Because I think he can do both. I think he's a guy that can get out in transition and run with a guy like Tyrese Maxey, but I also think he can sit there in the half court and give you buckets.
We saw it with Russell Westbrook. He thrived in transition this year.
The only thing I'll say about Levine, just defending him in the half court and defending him against like the needing to run a ton of transition around him. I don't think he'll need to run more transition than Ben did. So I still think that our transition we would still be running less transition and running more half court. I just think, not to dumb it down too much, I actually just think Zach LaVine's a better player than Bradley Beal. So I would prefer Zach LaVine. He's probably like my pie in the sky option because I don't think we'd have to give up Maxey, Matisse, a bunch of firsts. We'll get to obviously everyone's hopes and dreams on who they're pinned to, wearing 0 with the Portland Trailblazers. But